Hello, Druid Nation, it's Nevermind. So we have adjusted our build a little bit, and you see we're now hitting for 4.2 trillion. Actually, I hit like one of the runs for 5.6 trillion, but I just didn't find it anymore. So this is one of the runs where I was hitting for 4.2 trillion. So I decided to make a little video this time. I'm not the type of content creator who actually makes build guides. I just make a build planner. And for those who know me, I'm one of the top druids the last past seasons, and so I like to share my build, and I read all my build guides. But there were apparently really a lot of questions I got regarding the build, and I was busy answering a lot of builds. So I decided to make a video, explain how the build works, and talk about a few questions that have been always recurring in my past videos. So this is by far the strongest druid build, and I can tell you, like, if you want to have the strongest druid build for the highest content, this is definitely the strongest build. And so for those who have been following the build, they know how it works. So actually the build is made more like together with me and DMC and also Bowler giving input. So it's quite a few top druids are working on this build right now. And so what we did, we changed our item. We changed from Commander Serpent to this new ring, the Signet of Pelgain. For those who know, this ring has been coming more and more in Rise since we are playing with our runes Nagu and Che. Che, the wolves, give vulnerability and freeze. So we have a lot of freeze time. What we do is we play now on our gloves crowd control duration. So when the Che wolves do engage, we have a really long time of freeze effects. That means while the enemy is taking damage in this time, it's gonna take 20% more damage, and for each second they're frozen, so it's a huge multiplier. And we have switched to Signet. I will also post after the video my 141 clear. So that's the change we've done now. Also, with finally the changes to Glyn working. I think every druid knows this now. We're tanky as fuck. So we don't need to play Stormburst anymore. Stormburst was not the best way to trigger old Mountain, because it needed to proc 3 times before it needed to do damage 3 times till it actually proc the Fortify and the Petrify. So we've switched now to Landslide. I'm still gonna play around, test around which version of Landslide is better. Also gotta talk with DMC what he thinks is better. And we're playing now Landslide, which makes it way easier to proc. And further, we still playing the Ravens. The skill tree is no big difference, and we're still playing the same skill tree. We just took out Stoneburst and now playing Landslide. As I said, we still gonna need to test. And here's straight up one question I heard a lot. People were always asking me, when you play Stoneburst, why do I come out of Werebear? The reason is you just have picked the wrong path. You need to pick Werebear, and then if you Stoneburst, you do not come pick out of Werebear. So this is like one of the questions I always got. Then the next question is, the resource people are struggling with the resource. How do we generate resource? Most of the resources come from Gift of the Stack, and if you're having issues with resources, it's mostly because you're overpressing the Stoneburst in that case, or in this case it's going to be Landslide. You will be using it too often. Further, since we have switched now away from anger management, we don't have the issue of the resource anymore, so we will not deplete resources. You have a normal resource generation. Further, also in the boons, you see I've switched to Scribe of the Talon because we all have a little bit of crit issue this season. And why is crit chance important? Because of Pack Leader. So every time you roll with your companions or anything crits, the chances there it will just reset your companions. And the companions are your source of damage. The active damage is way higher than the passive one, as you can see. The wolves hit passive quite good, but you can see the active just does way more damage. So we want to play the active. So that's why we want to play Pack Leader. Thirdly, we have Reclaim Before the Storm, because the Snake Wound has been there useless since ages. Blizzard is not really buffing it. I don't know, it's like more than useless right now, especially with Cataclysm and all the other nature magic skills gone. We still play Calm Before the Storm. I don't see anything else. They're being really relevant. So right now we're playing that. And this is the boon. As I said, the skill trees is still the same thing. This is a skill tree. We're playing that Landslide now. Those are the points we're playing into Cyclone. You definitely want the Cyclone Reverse to pull them. Then we're playing Debilitating Roar. Now I've switched to Roar Resolve because the Glint gives you a lot of damage reduction when you get Resolves. When you go in the run, you need to stack Resolves fast. So pressing Roar Resolve helps you to stack your Resolves really fast and gives a lot of tankiness, like till 20 million tankiness. So that's a switch I've done. This helps us a lot with tankiness. Rest is still. Some people always ask me because of the passives. So that Court Ring gives you the passives, but somehow it's not giving it when people tested it. So we have enough points, like the points, you don't want to put them anywhere else. Like I'm max at Wolves, I have like max Wolf. These are enough defenses, especially with Lin, you don't need more points in the defenses. This is way good enough, so just be sure, put the points into your passives. You don't want to miss on those, those are really important. And then we're still playing Grizzly Rage, and yeah. So this is a skill tree. The Paragon board is the same thing like in my build planner. I'll still upgrade on build planner. The Paragon board, as you can see, is still the same thing. So also note in mind, this is 5% crit chance you have. Blizzard has nerfed this by far, but this is also crit chance which you do not see in your crit notes. So if you have open your crit notes, you want to see how much crit notes you have 5% more than is actually in there. So I'm actually at 96% crit chance. That's one thing that people also don't know. And so it's like it does not show any stats because it's only for the storm skills and your wolves are storm skills. So you're getting 5% more crit chance. Further, we're playing Untamed with Val's typical companion board. Further, we have Keeper in Survival Instinct, and also explain the Overpower, where we get Overpower from, because this question also people ask. At 30, we have Lust for Carnage. This is also a source of resources, as you can see. But the problem with Lust of Carnage is it's bugged. Sometimes it doesn't give you resources, because like everything else, that's also bugged in this game. So sometimes if you're not getting resources, it might just be the Lust of Carnage is not working, and if you go to the next tower or next map, you will actually get it. And we're also playing here Earth and Sky. So our Overpower is coming from our Elfin Bulwark, and we are playing as a rune Igni Q. You're pressing a lot of skills, so your Q will be always up. You will always have a source of overpower over your Earthen Bulwark. Further, we're playing also Naguche, as I explained why she is important for Signal of Pilgain. So that's why the higher content you do, the longer you need to kill a boss. That's why, as you can see in the picture, I was strong before. I was doing here 4 trillion damage. The reason is the longer I hit him, the more I freeze him, the bigger my numbers are. So I've said I've done like hits so around 5 to 6 trillion. This is now a 4 trillion hit I've done. So that's why we switched. But the one thing you gotta know is this is a little bit tough for bossing. It does not work on bosses. So at least for the pits or other content, you still wanna play maybe the commander. For tower pushing, this is the play probably. And mercenaries, like always, I've switched a little bit right here because you don't need toughness anymore, and I'm not so sure what I'm going to play about the mercenary. Further questions people always ask me, they just say like, why do I have big numbers? They don't have it. The sheer reason is how the lore of the Old Mountain works. This last 5 set, the 200 damage X only damage does not crit. It's a normal damage. You can crit into these 4 seconds damage. It's like the Barber from Season 1. But the damage number that comes out is a normal damage number. So what you have to do is, you go into gameplay, you go into show combat text, you need to turn these off. You just turn on normal damage, and then you will see the trillions. That's the reason. You're not seeing the Old Mountain numbers. Further for the seals, well, I don't have really good seals, so I'm just playing a crit damage multiplier. That's a 25% crit damage multiplier, which gives me big numbers. Right now my crit is not that high anymore. It used to be around 9,000, but since I switched up to these rings, this is really shitty. It's really impossible to find a unique ring. I guess we all know it, how bad it is. So if you take that one out, you see your crit damage just goes down like by far. So this is what I'm playing. Best case scenario, you want one charm slot and you want the plus petrified duration, which I have not gotten. So that's what we're playing. further, the setup the same. You want crit chance as a sanctification after addition. You want best case scenario crit chance on your chest. If you have enough crit chance, you can play here, for example, lightning damage. So this is, you want crowd control duration on your gloves, you want a storm companion, best case scenario, you also want lightning damage here, crit chance, whatever you get, you want the flicker steps. Here you probably want best case scenario sanctification, movement speed, weapon, you obviously want the gem strength, best case scenario, you can retemper it and get the gem strength. Amulet, you definitely want to play. For now we're playing overcharge and reanimation. We might change this up, we're not sure, so be sure not to, don't, for the moment, people are following my build, or like our build, don't sanctify items yet completely, and we're still fucking around. We will have the end build probably when we know what's the best, so as you guys know, we're changing every day, so maybe just keep a little bit your items open, don't sanctify them until we really know what we do. And then we play the Might of Erzin. Always people ask me why I'm playing Might of Erzin or not Accord, because on my list it's on my planner is Accord. The reason just is because my Might of the Erzin is my better ring. I don't have a good, my Accord rings are even worse than this. So it doesn't matter, whatever ring you have, which is better, you just play, and the other ring you put as a charm in here. Okay, what the fuck? Charm not. Yeah, okay, that's a bug again. It's bugged. So you want to play, obviously, the one better ring you have. It doesn't matter which one you play. So yeah, I hope I answered at least some questions. There's a lot of questions about the build. Always people also ask, like, can you speed farm with it? The fastest build in right now is the Storm with the Wolf, where you just teleport around. That's the fastest, but the damage numbers are way lower. So even if you jump around in T12, you would need a really big gear to be fast on it. But if you want that, check out Maxroll. I think Danger has made one, and that's really good probably. But the damage numbers, like, you will not one-shot stuff. I think, at least. You need a really good gear. With Companion, you really don't need a good gear to one-shot stuff. Further, what you can do is, if you want to be fast, what I do, you just take out, if you don't want to Hell Tides, whatever, you take out Ravens, you put 1 point into Claw, you put 1 point into Cast Speed, you go into Verber form, and you do Dash. That way, you just dash around. Best case scenario, you also put your wolves in a numlock, so your wolves are always attacking, so you don't need to right click for the wolves, and you just dash and you kill everything. And so I think that's it to the build, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So if you're like seeing 1 or 2, or like if you're seeing 500 trillion and I'm doing 5,000 trillion, like, the reason just is I have 260 hours game time, my gear is better, I have way more stats, but general the build is the same. I'm hitting for 5 to 6,000 trillion right now. It's obviously my game time on gear, but you will probably hit with the build still around 2 to 500 trillion. Be sure to turn on normal numbers, and after the explanation, I will put up also at my pit 141 clear, or just test it around a little bit, and yeah. I hope all the questions are answered. By far, I'm sure this is the best Druid build, the strongest Druid build right now. So for those who really want to play the strongest build, this is by far the strongest build. Any questions, I try to answer all of them. You can put them down in the comment section. Don't forget, I am not a build guide writer, I'm not a content creator. I do this just to support the Druids and the people who want to play the Druid. So if it's maybe not enough or I'm missing something, it's not my type of content. I'm just trying it to help people. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll be trying to update the planner. We were waiting for the Glint to come out. Glint is out. We will try to update the planner as soon as possible to see what's best for you. Thanks for watching and enjoy. We can actually do it. I just feel like, at least maybe in Tower, you need to fish for the good boss. But in here, it just feels impossible. actually add F. That sucks. Well, you say you're getting GAs, man. At least something is going. Something's working. I'm trying now without the Signet Ring. The boss fight feels impossible. I had like an 8 minutes boss summon, just did not work. On 141. Thanks for following. Let's see how the boss fight is with this. summon the boss anytime. Why is it always the same bosses? I don't get it. Like, are there only 2 bosses in the pit now? I don't know about that. But in the tower there are some... That's why I changed in the pit. In the pit, it's not playing with it anymore. It's impossible to kill them. In the tower, you have the 2 bosses who get wrecked by the companion. You need to fish for those. But in the pit,